Yes. Good morning, everyone. Okay, now today we're going to discuss the fourth section of these documents and talks about the economist's toolbox. Yes, toolbox. Toolbox is like un juego de herramientas, no una maleta de herramientas. So these tools are the tools that the economists use in order to explain, to predict, to describe some information that will happen in the future or is happening right now in the economy, in the microeconomy or microeconomy or microeconomy, okay? And now over here, I'm going to show you also 3 videos. The first one talks about these different tools that the economists use. Tools like models like graphics, different kind of graphics that they use in order to explain events in the economy. And also the other video talks about the difference between economy is divided in 2 sections, in 2 parts. Microeconomy and macroeconomy. Microeconomy and macroeconomy. Microeconomy talks about individual as a one, yeah, and macroeconomy talks as a whole. Okay, don't worry, I'll explain it. The video will explain to you, so don't worry. Anyway, and then we'll go deep into it. All right, so let's watch these 2 videos. Hold on, let me share this screen. Okay, so please, guys, pay attention to this, the first video. Oh yeah, this is the first one, okay? Okay, this video it lasts like 7 minutes, like 34, no, but we're not gonna watch the whole video, only the important section that I want you to see, okay? Attention.
In this video, we will be talking about bar charts, pie charts, histograms, stem plots, and time plots. We can use these tools as a way of displaying data. We often use bar charts and pie charts to display categorical data, and we often use stem plots, time plots, and histograms for displaying quantitative data. Pie charts show the relative size of each value in relation to the whole. On the other hand, bar charts display the frequency on one axis and the values of the categorical variable on the other. You can think of bar charts as a way of tallying information. For quantitative data, we often use stem plots, histograms, and time plots to show information. We'll talk about histograms first. After collecting data from a population or sample, we can use a histogram to help us display the distribution of the data we collected. The frequency, or count, is displayed on one axis, and each count tells us how many data values fall within a predetermined interval on the other axis. This axis corresponds to the variable we have just measured. To read a histogram, you first pick one of the intervals and determine its height. So for the interval between 100 and 110, we see that the bar has a height of 8. This means that, from the data we collected, 8 people between 100 and for the next interval, we see that the height of 16. So this means that 16 out of the total people I collected data from weigh between 110 and 120 pounds. The rest of the histogram can be read in a similar fashion. A histogram is a form of a frequency distribution. Frequency distribution.
All this, how they created, that's not the idea. The idea over here from this video is that I wanted to show you that there are different type of charts or tables. No, chart. These are chart. No, these are graphics. Sorry, these are graphics that the economists use it in order to explain events that happens in the economy. Now I have to hear it faster. You know, this kind of these are some examples. Bar chart, line chart. This is a line chart. This is a bar, and this is pie. This is the pie chart. Basically, we use these 3. Basically, they use it. There are different kind of graphics, but these are the most common used in the economy. Okay. Now this was the only part that I wanted to show you.
Charts to display categorical
This
data.
video. Now I'm gonna show you the difference between micro and macroeconomic. Micro and macroeconomic. First, let's watch this one and then the other one.
Microeconomics versus macroeconomics. The study of economics is divided into two major branches, microeconomics and macroeconomics. Microeconomics comes from the Greek word mikros, meaning small. Microeconomics deals with the behavior of individual actors in the economy. It can mean one consumer, one household, one firm, or even one industry. Some questions we aim to answer in microeconomics are: if price of cars go up, what happens to consumer demand? If income levels of people increase, how will demand for meat change? So microeconomics deals with the individual parts of the economy. When you hear microeconomics, think small. Macroeconomics comes from the Greek word makros, meaning big. In macroeconomics, we are interested in the economy as a whole. For example, the country's unemployment rate, changes in prices of goods, or inflation. National income, which is often referred as GDP. Some questions we try to answer in macroeconomics are: what happens if money supply increase? What causes the economy to grow over time? So in a nutshell, macroeconomics studies the economy as a whole. When you hear
Okay, let's start right here and let's watch this one also.
Hey guys, I'm Surbhi and once again welcome to my channel Key Differences. Today in this video, I'm going to explain you the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics. So friends, let's get started. Now first of all, we are going to understand the term economics. Economics is that branch of knowledge which studies the processes through which the resources that are scarce in nature are allocated to satisfy our most pressing unlimited wants. In other words, it studies the way we work together to transform the scarce resources into valuable and usable goods and services so as to satisfy the human wants. Now there are two branches of economics, microeconomics and macroeconomics. Now we'll understand the term microeconomics. Microeconomics is that branch of economics which studies individual units such as a consumer, household, firm, industry, and price of a product. Microeconomics examines how the scarce resources are to be allocated among people efficiently. So it covers product pricing, consumer behavior, factor pricing, firms behavior, and industry location. Macroeconomics. Macroeconomics is that branch of economics which deals with economy as a whole instead of individual aspects. Hence, here we are going to study the behavior of larger economic variables as in total consumption, total investment, total savings, etc. So, it analyzes the environment wherein the firms, households, consumers and government takes decisions. So, macroeconomics covers national income, general price level, employment level, level of savings and investment, balance of trade and balance of payment. Difference between micro and macroeconomics.
Okay, enough of blah 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 blah. At least you understand something, I guess, about what it means. It doesn't matter. Maybe you have to, as I said, this document is already loaded up. You have to download it and print it. It's in PDF. Okay, so and also eventually I'm going to load up this presentation that I'm going to open right now. Here it is. Okay, guys, remember this is new topic. new topic that we are starting today. This is the name of the topic, section number 4. Please, you need to write this information in your notebook. Write it in your notebook, The Economist Toolbox. Now, these are the objective of this section. Demonstrate how and why economists use economics models. We started already this kind of model. Remember, the PPC is an example of model. Second one, understand how and why economists use statistics, charts, table, and graphs. Number 3, compare macroeconomics with microeconomics. And the last one, contrast positive economics with normative economics. This last objective is a little bit tricky and sometimes it's difficult to understand. But anyway, I'll try my best in order to explain it eventually when we arrive to that section. Now, as I said, write the title, Economist Toolbox, and then this is the vocabulary, only 5 words: statistics, microeconomics, positive economics, and normative economics. Already remember those words, those meanings are already in your PDF that is in your platform. Print it out, please. Let's move on. Once again, remember, write the title in your notebook and then the vocabulary, and that's it so far. Now, let's begin working with data, trabajando con data, con información. Yeah. Individuals, businesses, owners, and government officials make economic decisions all the time. Your mom, your dad, the school, the entrepreneur, the pedrero, we always make decisions all the time. Even the dog make decisions. Economists study these decisions and look for logical ways to explain why some nations are rich, like Canada, Brazil, USA, England, France, Japan, countries like that, and while others are poor, like Haiti, like Nicaragua, like what else? I don't know. I don't want to mention Ecuador. I don't know. Maybe. Okay. So the economy explain why they are the way it is, or the way they are. Some economists can interview every person in every nation about economic choices. So they rely on statistics. This is the word, statistics. And what a statistics is? Numerical data or information to see patterns of behavior. Patrones de conducta, patrones de comportamiento, cómo se comporta la economía, cómo se comporta el azúcar, cómo se comporta la gasolina, cómo se comportan las ventas, cómo se comportan la oferta, cómo se comporta la demanda en la economía, right? Now economists, they develop economics models. Ellos desarrollan modelos económicos, like we explained it last week, PPC. Over here it is, 10 minutes. PPC economics model over here, as we watched last week. This is the example, and also statistics. The two of them are example of language that the economics uses in order to understand or explain different events or situations that are taking over in the economy in a micro or a macroeconomics area or section. Now, using economics models, now, like I think you have done this kind of model, the lunar eclipse model, in elementary, I guess, I hope. It says in science class, you may have seen a model of lunar eclipse, which shows how, with the sun behind it, the earth casts a shadow on the moon. Now over here, these pictures show you what a model is. Model that's explain the eclipse. Okay. Now it says economics models work in the same way. They are based on assumption. That is the key word. Assumptions. For instance, economists in January or maybe in December, they try to predict, or maybe in other international organizations, they try to predict how was going to grow the economy here in Panama or in Latin America. And they said that Panama was supposed to grow this year at least 2.5% in its economy. But the thing is, these were assumptions. And these economists, they did not consider what was about to happen. And I'm referring to the pandemic. The pandemic that is taking over, and then these assumptions that they tried to predict about Panama and some countries in the area, they are going right straight to the trash can. Yes, it is. They tried to predict, but they didn't consider the COVID-19. They didn't consider, and because of that, the whole country is going to go to a recession. It's the opposite of growing. Recession. Why? Because there are some companies or factories that they are not producing at least TV sets. They are not producing cell phone because nobody is buying. All the countries, they are not asking to import this kind of device because everything is shut down. Everything is closed. We are in quarantine. That's why. So they are suffering this COVID virus, and it was a very important factor in the economy and affect the whole economy in the world, in the universe. Oh, wow. Okay, let's continue. Assumptions are so simplified because they focus on a limited number of variables. Remember, over here we only consider 2 variables, but in real world they use several variables. Okay, models helps economists explain why things are as they are. In some cases, models can help economists to predict the future. Now, they failed trying to predict that Panama was going to grow 2.5% this year, okay, in its economy. Now over here, let's continue with the tools that economists use. Now, one of those is using chart and table. Economists study statistics in a particular way, looking for trends. What trend means? Tendencias, trends, connections, and other interesting relationships. Economists' most common tools are chart and table, in which data are arranged and displayed in rows and columns. Over here, there is a very, very interesting chart, guys, that I want you to take a look at for a moment. I'm gonna be quiet, just look at it. Enough. Now, over here, this chart talks about development assistance, asistencia para el desarrollo. Now, over here, they only shows 2 countries, Luxembourg and Canada. The second column shows AIDS in millions, la ayuda, AIDS in millions of US dollars. And the third one talks about percentage of total economy. Okay, now, at first glance, you could say that who's the one who's contributing with most in this chart? You could say that is Canada. Why? Because they're contributing with more than 4 billions, $4,927. More than, well, yes, more than 4 billions. While in Luxembourg, they only just a piece of this, like 10 times this, something, yes, 10 times this. 429 millions, that's nothing. But now the third column says percentage of total economy. That means that Luxembourg will grab 1% of its economy in order to contribute it to the cost. So they grab 1% of the whole economy that represents 429 millions, while Canada were so stingy. They were so stingy. They only grabbed not even 1%, not even less, not half of 1%, less than a half of 1%, only 0.27%. Come on. Okay, so as you see, you need to learn how to read this chart. If I had this chart in a test and I ask you, please analyze this, and then what can you conclude from this chart? I'm pretty sure that everybody's gonna say, okay, can I analyze the one who's contributing with the most amount of money, and everything should have been wrong with that answer. Okay, why? Because you didn't see. You need to go further. They are doing the more sacrifice than Canada. Luxembourg, their sacrifice is bigger than Canada. Why? Because they're grabbing 1% of their economy, the budget economy, and only Canada only not even 1%, not even half of 1%, not even that. Okay, so you have to understand to read this kind of chart, guys. Okay, now I'm gonna stop right here. Please, we don't have enough time. We're about to go to recess. Remember, there are pizza, there are empanaditas, there are soda, there are chicha in the kiosk. Okay, so